Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudire nashtaprayesha bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Chapter 6, the liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Text 187 onwards. So yesterday, Mahaprabhu in his discussion quoted this famous Atmaram verse from Bhagavatam. So Bhattacharya is asking, Shuni Bhattacharya kahe Shunu Mahashaya, Eish Lokera Artha Shunite Vanchahaya. After hearing the Atmaram verse, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya addressed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My dear sir, please explain this verse. I have a great desire to hear your explanation of it. प्रभु कहे तुम्ही की अर्थ करा ताहा आगे सुनी पाछे आमी करीबा अर्थ एव किछु जानी. The Lord replied, let me first hear your explanation. After that, I shall try to explain what little I know. Shuni Bhattacharya Shlok Karila Vyakhyana Tarka Shastra Mata Utthaya Vidhan. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then began to explain the Atmaram verse, and according to the principles of logic, he put forward various propositions. Okay. Navavidha Artha Kaila Shastra Matalayan Shuni Prabhu Kahe Kichu Ishata Hasiya. The Bhattacharya explained the Atmaram verse in 9 different ways on the basis of scripture. After hearing his explanation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, smiling a little, began to speak. So the Atmaram verse was discussed at Naimisharanya at a meeting of many great sages, headed by Shaunak Rishi. They questioned Srila Sutta Goswami, who presided at the meeting, about why Srila Shukdev Goswami, a Paramhansa, already in the transcendental position, was attracted to a discussion of the qualities of Krishna. In other words, they wanted to know why Srila Shukdev Goswami engaged in the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhattacharya jani tumi sakshat brihaspati shastra vyakhya karite aiche karo nahi shakti. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Bhattacharya, you are exactly like Brihaspati, the priest of the heavenly kingdom. Indeed, no one within this world has the power to explain the scriptures in such a way. Kintu tumi artha kaile panditya pratibhai, iha va shloke rache aro abhipraya. My dear Bhattacharya, you have certainly explained this verse by the prowess of your vast learning, but you should know that besides this scholarly explanation, there is another purport to this verse. Bhattacharya prarthanate prabhu vyakhya kaila tar nav artha madhe ek na chunila. Upon the request of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to explain the verse without touching upon the 9 explanations given by Bhattacharya. See, he didn't even touch any of the 9, but he started explaining this way. Atma Ramascha Shloke Ekadash Padahaya Prithak Prithak Kaila Padera Artha Nishchaya. There are 11 words in Atmaram verse, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained each word, one after the other. The words in the Atmaram verse are Atmarama cha munya niragrantha api urukrame kurvanti ahatukim bhaktim itham bhutaguna hari. Tattad pad pradhanya Atmaram milaya ashtadash artha kaila abhipraya. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took each word specifically and combined it with the word Atmaram. He thus explained the word Atmaram in 18 different ways. There could be 18 meanings of Atmaram, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu said, and not touching the 9 meanings of the words, whole words, what Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said. Bhagwan tar shakti tar guna gana achintya prabhavati nirnaya katha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the Supreme Personality of God, his different potencies, and his transcendental qualities all have inconceivable prowess. It is not possible to explain them fully. Anya yat sadhya sadhan kari achada, eitine hare siddha sadhake ramana. These 3 items attract the mind of a perfect student engaged in spiritual activities and overcome all other processes of spiritual activity. So these 3 items means Supreme Personality of Godhead, his different potencies, and his transcendental qualities. So these 3 items attract the mind of a perfect student engaged in spiritual activities and overcome all other processes of spiritual activity. So spiritual activities other than Bhakti Yoga are divided into 3 categories. Speculative activity conducted by the Gyan Sampradaya, learned scholars. Fruitive activity conducted by the general populace according to Vedic regulations. And the activities of transcendentalists not engaged in devotional service. There are many different branches of these categories, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconceivable potencies and transcendental qualities, attracts the mind of the student engaged in the activities of karma, jnana, yoga, and so forth. The Supreme Lord is full of inconceivable potencies which are related to his person or his form, his energies, and his transcendental qualities. All of these are very attractive to the serious student. Consequently, the Lord is known as Krishna, the all-attractive. So he attracts everybody. Even the person who's not a devotee, but he still gets attracted by Krishna. Because ultimately, it's a soul. Soul is part and parcel of Krishna. And ultimately, he has the attraction for Krishna. Whether he gets attracted to his different potencies, or his qualities, or his person, it just depends. Sanakadi Shukadeva Tahate Brahman. Ei mata nana artha karena vyakhyan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the meaning of the words by giving evidence concerning Shukdev Goswami and the 4 rishis, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan, and Sanat Kumar. Thus the Lord gave various meanings and explanations. That Krishna is all attractive is verified by the activities of the 4 rishis and Shukdev Goswami. All of them were liberated persons, yet they were attracted by the qualities and pastimes of the Lord. It is therefore said, Mukta api lileya vigraham kritva bhagvantam bhajante. Even liberated persons are attracted by the pastimes of Lord Krishna and thus engage in devotional service. From the very beginning of their lives, Shukdev Goswami and the 4 Kumaras, known as Chatushana, were liberated and self-realized on the Brahman platform. Nonetheless, they were attracted by the qualities of Krishna, and they engaged in his service. The 4 Kumaras were attracted by the aroma of the flowers offered at the lotus feet of Krishna. And in this way, they became devotees. So if you remember 4 Kumaras, when they went to Vaikuntha to see the Lord, Jai Vijay stopped them and Lord came running that something has happened. So as soon as they saw the Lord and the flowers, so in fact the tulsi leaves offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, they smelled that. And they got attracted by the beauty of the Lord. And they became devotees. Before that they were Brahmagyanis, not devotees. But now when they saw the Lord and they smelled the tulsi leaves, the flowers offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, they became devotees. Shukdev Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam by the mercy of his father Vyasadeva, and he was consequently attracted to Krishna and became a great devotee. So Shukdev Goswami, when he was born, for 16 years he remained in the womb of his mother. He didn't come out. Even Vyasadeva told him, please come out. No, I'll get entrapped by Maya, I don't want to come. Krishna himself had to come to, I guess they were at Badrinath, to tell him, no, you will not fall in Maya, come out. So as soon as he came out of the womb of his mother, because he was already old, and he just left that ashram. He said, my father in this ashram, he's a grihastha, I'm not going to stay here. I'll get attracted to women, and he left. So Vyasadeva ran after him, but he didn't come back. He made his own hut a little bit far away and stayed there and did his meditation. Now Vyasadeva, he had disciples, so he sent his disciples that way after some time. And the disciples were chanting two shlokas of Bhagavatam. So one shloka was describing the beauty of Krishna, and the second shloka was describing the merciful nature of Krishna. So when Shukdev Goswami heard those shlokas, he asked them, where'd you learn that from? They're very beautiful. Well, they said, well, we learned it from our guru. His ashram is not far away if you want to go there. So when Shukdev Goswami came, then Vyasadev's ashram was there. And Vyasadeva said, okay, now you have come, listen to Bhagavatam, because you have to speak Bhagavatam later on. So that's when Shukdev Goswami sat down and heard Bhagavatam. And then he got so attracted, he spoke wonderfully to Maharaj Parikshit. In that assembly, Maharaj Parikshit was there, Narad Muni, Vyasji himself was there, his father. And Narad Muni is his father's guru. But they all selected Shukdev Goswami to speak Bhagavatam. Why? Because it is so sweet. The Lord, His qualities, His potencies, His pastimes, everybody gets attracted. The conclusion is that the transcendental bliss experienced in the service of the Lord must be superior to Brahmananda, the bliss derived from realizing the impersonal Brahman. Shuni Bhattacharya mane haila chamatkara, Prabhu ke Krishna jani kare apandikara. Upon hearing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's explanation of the Atmaram verse, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was struck with wonder. He then understood Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be Krishna in person, and he thus condemned himself in the following words. So this explanation of Atmaram verse is given later on in detail when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks to Sanatana Goswami. It's in Madhya Lila only, but later on. And it's very, very technical description again. But anyway, we'll study that later. Ihota Sakshat Krishna Mui na Jani Maha Aparadha Kaino Garvita Hayan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is certainly Lord Krishna himself. Because I could not understand him and was very proud of my own learning, I have committed many offenses. Atmaninda kari laila Prabhu Rasharan, Kripa kari vare tabe Prabhu Rahailaman. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya denounced himself as an offender and took shelter of the Lord desired to show him mercy. Nija Rupa Prabhu Tare Karaila Darshan, Chaturbhuja Rupa Prabhu Haila Thakan. To show him mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu allowed him to see his Vishnu form. Thus he immediately assumed 4 hands to show him his Vishnu form, 4-handed. देखाइला तारे आगे चतुर्भुज रूपा, पाचे श्याम वंशी मुख स्वकीय स्वरूपा. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first showed him the four-handed form and then appeared before him in his original form of Krishna with a blackish complexion and a flute to his lips. देखी सार्वभौमा दंडवत कर पारी, पुनः उठी स्तुति करे दुई कर जोड़ी जोड़ी. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya saw the form of Lord Krishna manifested in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately fell down flat to offer him obeisances. Then he stood up with folded hands, began to offer prayers. So the question is, why didn't Mahaprabhu just in the beginning show his four-handed form and then Krishna form? The point is, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not ready yet. Ready, or his heart was not transformed yet. So Mahaprabhu showed him at the right moment. And when he saw this form, look at it. He fell down flat and then he began to offer prayers. In fact, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has written 100 shlokas in the glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That book is there, 100 shlokas. Prabhur kripaye taras surila sab tattva, nama prema dana adi varnina mahatva. By the mercy of the Lord, all truths were revealed to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he could understand the importance of chanting the holy name and distributing love of Godhead everywhere. Shat shlok kaila eka danda na jaite, Brihaspati Taiche Shlok na pare karite. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya composed 100 verses in a very short time. Indeed, not even Brihaspati, the priest of the heavenly planets, could compose such verses as quickly. The name of the book of 100 beautiful verses composed by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is Sushloka Shatak. Sushlok Shatak. Shuni Sukhe Prabhu Tare Kaila Alingana. Bhattacharya Prema Veshe Hailaya Chetan. After hearing the 100 verses, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu happily embraced Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was immediately overwhelmed in ecstatic love of Godhead and fell unconscious. Ashru Stamba Pullaka Sveda Kampa Tarahari, Nache Gaye Kande Pade Prabhu Padadhari. Out of ecstatic love of God, the Bhattacharya shed tears and his body was stunned. He exhibited an ecstatic mood and he perspired, shook and trembled. He sometimes danced, sometimes chanted, sometimes cried, and sometimes fell down to touch the lotus feet of the Lord. See, this is what happens when somebody is very, very advanced in devotions. When by mercy of Mahaprabhu, he got this ecstatic love of God. And all these years when he was giving commentaries on Vedanta Sutra and studying the Vedanta Sutra and Vedas, he never felt this ecstasy. So it's so simple. Bhakti is what is required, nothing else. Dekhi Gopinathacharya Harishitaman, Bhattacharya Nitya Dekhi Hase Prabhurgan. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was in ecstasy, Gopinathacharya was very pleased. The associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all laughed to see the Bhattacharya dance. So they were all happy. Gopinathacharya kahe Mahaprabhur prati sai Bhattacharya Prabhu kailai gati. Gopinathacharya told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sir, you have brought up this upon Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Prabhu kahe tumi bhakta tumhara sang haite, Jagannatha yahare kripa kaila bhalamante. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, you are a devotee because of your association. Lord Jagannath has shown him mercy. Tabe Bhattacharya Prabhu susthira karila, sthira haya Bhattacharya bahustuti kaila. After this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pacified the Bhattacharya. And when he was quieted, he offered many prayers to the Lord. Jagat nistarile tumi seha alpa karya ama uddharile tumi ei shakti ascharya. Sarvam Bhattacharya said, "My dear sir, you have delivered the entire world, but that is not a very great task. However, you have also delivered me, and that is certainly the work of very wonderful powers." See, the mood of a devotee is so humble. He says, "I am the most fallen. You must have um, delivered the entire world, but that's not good enough. I am the most fallen, and you have delivered me, and this is wonderful." तर्कशास्त्र जड़ आमी तर्कशास्त्र जड़ आमी याचे लोह पिंड आमंत्र तुम्ही प्रताप प्रचंड. I had become dull-headed due to reading too many books on logic. Consequently, I had become like an iron bar. Nonetheless, you have melted me, and therefore your influence is very great. स्तुति सुनि महाप्रभु निज भाषा आईला भट्टाचार्य आचार्य द्वारे भिक्षा कराईला. After hearing the prayers offered by Sarvam Bhattacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence, and the Bhattacharya, through Gopinathacharya, induced the Lord to accept lunch there. आर दिन प्रभु गेला जगन्नाथ दर्शन कैला जगन्नाथ सायोज्य थाने. Early the following morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to see Lord Jagannath in the temple, and he saw the Lord rise from his bed. Means Mangala Aarti time. Pujari aniya mala prasadana dila prasadana mala paya Prabhu harsha haila. The priest, they presented him with garlands and prasadam that had been offered to Lord Jagannath. This pleased Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very much. सही प्रसाद अन्नमाला अंजले बांधिया भट्टाचार्य घरे आइला त्वरायुक्त हाया. Carefully tying the prasadam and garlands in a cloth, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hastened to the house of Sarvam Bhattacharya. Arunodaya kale haila Prabhu Ragamana Sai kale Bhattacharya haila jagaram. He arrived at the Bhattacharya's house a little before sunrise, just when the Bhattacharya was arising from bed. Krishna Krishna Smrtakahi Bhattacharya Jagila Krishna Nama Shuni Prabhu Ananda Badila. As Sarvam Bhattacharya rose from bed, he distinctly chanted, "Krishna, Krishna." Lord Chaitanya was very pleased to hear him chant the holy names of Krishna. Bahire Prabhur Teho Paila Darashana Aste Vyaste Asi Kaila Charana Bandhan. Bhattacharya noticed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu outside, and with great haste he went to him and offered prayers unto his lotus feet. Vasite asana diya duhete vasila prasadanna khuli Prabhu tara hath dila. Bhattacharya offered a carpet for the Lord to sit upon, and both of them sat there. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened the prasadam and placed it in the hands of the Bhattacharya. So why so much detail? Because something Sarvam Bhattacharya will do now that surprised even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prasadan paya Bhattacharya ananda haila snana sandhya danta dhavan yadyapi na kaila. At that time, the Bhattacharya had not even washed his mouth, nor had he taken his bath or finished his morning duties. Nonetheless, he was very pleased to receive the prasadam of Lord Jagannath. Chaitanya prasade mane sab jade gela, eish loka padi anna bhakshana karila. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the dullness in the mind of Sarvam Bhattacharya was eradicated. After reciting the following two verses, he ate the prasadam offered to him. So before that, no way, without doing his all the morning duties, bath and Gayatri and everything, he wouldn't even touch anything. to eat. But now, doesn't matter. Suksham paryushtipam api nitam va dur deshata prapti matrena bhaktavyam na atra kala vicharana. The Bhattacharya said, one should eat the Mahaprasadam of the Lord immediately upon receiving it, even though it is dried up, stale, or brought from a distant country. One should consider neither time nor place. Na desha niyamastatra na kala niyamastatha. Praptam annam drutam shishta. Bhoktavyam harir abravit. The prasadam of Lord Krishna is to be eaten by gentlemen as soon as it is received. There should be no hesitation. There are no regulative principles concerning time and place. This is the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these verses are quoted from Padma Purana. Dekhi anandita haila Mahaprabhu Ramana Prema Vishta Haya Prabhu Kaila Lingan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to see this. He became ecstatic in love of Godhead and embraced Sarvamutachan. Duhi jane dhari duhe kare nanartan Prabhu britya duha sparshe duhar fuleman. The Lord and the servant embraced each other and began to dance. Simply by touching each other, they became ecstatic. So this is the power of bhakti, Krishna prema. And this is what Mahaprabhu came to give us. And he's very happy to see if we receive it or we are qualified to get it. Okay, I guess I can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments? Okay, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.